From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your afternoon update.
Ants Meats and Grocery is much more than a grocery store. We carry a full line of quality meats, local and organic vegetables, and a large variety of fish, Green Mountain Smart Control pellet grills, and a full deli case of sandwiches and side dishes.
Well, welcome back, everyone. Here's the thing. In the morning hours, this is where you're going to get the most extensive update from me. I go into detail about the current fires, the weather information coming in, the latest data coming in. Now, where you're going to find the most comprehensive and latest data coming in will be from the version of Coffee with Kruger. Now, I do it also on my morning update that uploads no later than 6 a.m., but sometimes there is more recent data that comes in just in time for Coffee with Kruger, and we can give you even more recent data. So I do Coffee with Kruger live at 7 a.m. If you can watch live at 7 a.m., I highly recommend it. You can interact, you can ask questions. It's a great resource. But if you can't, but want to see the latest, at least since the morning, of great detail about where the fires are, the fire perimeters, the distances to communities. It's all right here at the very beginning of Coffee with Kruger. So be sure to check that out. Just click on this from weathernorcal.com. You can also access this same thing. It'll look a lot like this on the free Weather NorCal app. You can watch there as well. And by the way, since I don't do that comprehensive coverage at noon or the evening, the only time I'll do in the evening if something flares up or something major happens late in the day. But you can also get the latest on the fires, and the best place to do that is from weathernorcal.com. Click on the fire danger right here, and you'll have all of the resources that you need right there. Okay, so now that you know I do most of my fire coverage in the morning, we're not going to talk about the fire perimeters and the latest going on with those fires. But what we are going to talk about is some of the fire dangers that will be out there. Now, not necessarily along the coast. We did see that fog advisory this morning, but we could be looking at another one tomorrow morning and the next few mornings, because the fog looking pretty dense out there the next few days, and may be hard for it to burn off some of these afternoons as well. Right? We have a fire danger which remains high today and maybe even for parts of us tomorrow due to isolated mountain thunderstorms. Now, the valley and everyone else is going to see a slight drop in the temperatures over the next couple of days, but we're going to be right back up, seeing those temperatures increasing in toward the end of the week and this upcoming weekend. There's a look at your neighborhood forecast at a glance. There's that chance for isolated thunderstorms mainly in the mountains, not necessarily for the valley or the coast, but yeah, another hot day out there. Now, I want to show you the smoke forecast. Now, here's something that's interesting. Now, last night, really the last 24 hours, we haven't seen a ton of activity coming in from the fires. Yes, there's been, of course, they're burning actively still, especially the Shelley fire, but we're not seeing any massive plumes of smoke from that activity. It's not burning very hot, let's just put it that way. So when it's not burning as hot, we don't see as much smoke. So based on the smoke forecast and based on the current conditions, we're going to be looking at improving conditions with that air quality. As you can see through the day on Tuesday, even a lot of the haze begins to disappear, especially by Tuesday night. Now, keep in mind, if a fire should flare up, you're going to see more smoke than what you see on the map here. But based on the current conditions, it looks pretty good. Now, the winds are something we're going to watch closely. Now, notice the typical trend is sticking around. Calm winds in the morning, picking up in the afternoon. That's, of course, no exception today or tomorrow. But look at tomorrow. Not only will the valley see those strong south winds, but look at Siskiyou County. We're seeing over 20, 25 miles per hour, not to mention to the east as well. Now, I'm going to be mentioning this a little bit later, talking about that fire potential and that fire danger here in a second. But as we go into your Wednesday, you'll notice the wind's not as strong, still a bit breezy though, off to the east. So we look at the fire weather risk. There it is, the orange indicating high to very high, right? That's also the case for parts of the northern and eastern mountains. As we go into Tuesday, look, again, remember those stronger winds in Siskiyou County? That's one of the reasons why we have the higher fire danger there. And here as well, we're seeing a lot brighter yellows and even some oranges in there, getting in around the high range for many of us in the eastern mountains, of course, not to mention for the valley. Now look at Wednesday. As the winds die down, even for the valley, we're seeing a lower fire weather risk, but still high nonetheless. Now what's interesting is this. This is just another forecast that comes out. It's showing the potential, the best fire potential with dry lightning to the north and east. Okay? Then, as we go into Tuesday, tomorrow, Remember, those winds are picking up? Well, look at that. It's picking up with the potential for those winds being a problem for fire spreading rapidly. Now, we already have that fire right in western Siskiyou County, the Shelley fire, where the firefighters don't want to see the winds pick up. It's going to dry things out. It's very hot, right? So that could create problems, and we may see a flare-up around parts of the Shelley fire. But you remember the areas of red for today, indicating the best chance for lightning strikes? Look at this off to the east. I'm not sure why that forecast model is not picking up on that, but we could even see some thunderstorms in Modoc County in the eastern mountains. In fact, probably even better chances there, quite honestly. Then we go into tomorrow afternoon, and I think most of the mountains will be thunderstorm free, with the exception of just some of that lingering monsoon moisture, that flow going into northeastern Modoc County for tomorrow afternoon. Everyone else is looking dry. And by the way, look at the coast. We're still seeing that fog fairly dense and persistent. That continues for Wednesday morning and even Wednesday afternoon. But look at Wednesday. No more thunderstorms in the mountains, at least for now. It's looking pretty good. Now, as I mentioned, temperatures are cooling down over the next few days. That's great, thanks to this area of high pressure kind of shifting to the south and east. But by the end of the week, this ridge of high pressure, you see how it's expanding and getting closer and closer to us as we go into Friday, Saturday, even Sunday. It looks like it kind of extends northward, keeping us hot through the weekend. But then watch this area of low pressure and cooler air associated with it. It actually is fairly strong, and it's actually going to break up that ridge of high pressure and push that heat to the south and east. So what happens? Our temperatures start to drop. So they're going up this weekend. By early next week, they're going to start to go down again. Kind of that roller coaster ride, if you will, of the temperatures. All right, here's what we have for us today. Another hot day. Most of us in the valley will at least be 100 degrees or higher. For the most part, you can see some upper 90s for Willows and Oroville, for example. But we're looking at the potential for thunderstorms. Now, don't let this scare you. You look at all this, you go, wow, look at all of these thunderstorms in the mountains. Not the case. Not everyone's going to see these thunderstorms. It's just saying all of the mountain communities have that potential. It's there, but it's going to be few and far between. Not everyone's going to see it. But if you get caught under with those thunderstorms, yeah, I mean, you're talking about the potential for dry lightning. That's going to be a concern for more fire starts. Let's hope for the best today, and not to mention tomorrow. So we look at the valley, and you'll notice again, temperatures dropping. We're just going to be barely hovering around that 100-degree mark for Redding and Red Bluff. Look at Chico, though, upper 90s. But then temperatures going back up again Thursday, Friday, and getting close to 110 degrees here, especially by the second half of the weekend. We take a look at the coast. Dry, but mostly cloudy skies. Some of that fog is going to try to burn off each day, but looking especially in the morning hours and overnight, that dense fog in some areas. Chance for thunderstorms. I think the chances for thunderstorms inland will be much slimmer than Trinity County. And not to mention Siskiyou County, Modoc County, the eastern mountains for today. You'll notice Modoc County still that chance, but everywhere else, no more thunderstorms. Temperatures dropping for Wednesday, even Thursday, before they go back up. And notice I've also included a chance for thunderstorms come Sunday for places like Susanville. So we may see the return of some of that monsoon moisture by the end of this upcoming weekend.
At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too. Because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.